Welcome to the Ambitious Introvert Podcast, created especially for introverts, empaths, and highly sensitive entrepreneurs to help you build, grow, and scale a successful, sustainable business. I'm your host, Emma-Louise Parks, business and mindset coach for ambitious introverts. After 17 years working as an air traffic controller, the ultimate fast-paced, high-stimulus, extrovert-friendly role, my mission now is to show introverts that they too can create big results and success because of who they are, not in spite of it. I focus on introvert-friendly business and marketing strategy to help you switch overwhelm for clarity, confidence, and clients. Hello, and welcome to this month's Roundup of the Ambitious Introvert Podcast with me, Emma-Louise. So this is my Roundup for February. I'm actually recording this on the 20th, so a week before release date. So it's kind of a roundup of like 3/4 of February. But obviously the team need time to edit and create everything and get it uploaded. So we are a little bit ahead of the game. So anything that happens in the next week, I'll include in March's roundup. So anyway, I hope you have had a wonderful February. Hope you've had a great first couple of months of the year. I'm just going to be sharing a little bit briefly about what I've been up to this month behind the scenes. And I guess this is a little bit like my weekly newsletter. If you are a subscriber, you'll know that on a Friday I send a little weekly roundup of kind of what's been going on. But it's really nice to actually be able to do it in podcast form and share things in a bit more detail. So I got off to a very content heavy start to the month. So I've been doing a lot of creation. I had to batch quite a few podcast episodes as my editor was going away on holiday. So I had to make sure they were all done up front. And I also had some guest episodes all scheduled for earlier in the month that will be out probably end of the quarter, stroke Q2 now. So I'd opened up some spots. I was trying to do it at a time where I'm not too busy with client calls. And so I did 3 or 4 over a few days, which was great. It was really great to get back on. I hadn't done any since, November, I think, was the last time I'd recorded with guests. So that was really, I also did some power hours this month. I haven't released power hours for, I think it was around 2 years. So I released 3 and 2 of them sold. I just had very limited, 2 days in the month where I was like, I have some spots. So that was really, really great to do and to connect with some different people. They are much more strategy and consultancy focused than my long-term coaching, because obviously in a 60-minute session, you can't really go too deep or create big sustainable changes in someone's mindset, but you absolutely can map out a lot of strategy. It's really easy for me to talk to someone and see where the gaps are, see where the holes are, see, where they're missing 2 pieces that they could just tie together to have a really solid strategy. So that was really great to meet some new people and see the back of their business. I also kicked off with a new one-on-one client, which was amazing. So we had our first call. We're going to be working together for 12 months on her business. So that was really great to, get stuck into that as well and start getting to know her. I've also been planning a free masterclass, and I said it's been about 2 years since I did power hours. It's been a lot longer than that since I did any kind of challenge or webinar or masterclass. It was before this podcast existed. So I had such great feedback and so many responses about the social media podcast I did a few weeks ago and about the marketing one that were both in the How I Think About series, that I've decided to run a masterclass on this, because I think there's so much misinformation about how to use social media in business, and it gets very much tied up. I think the term online business, actually, a lot of people go straight to, or their brains go straight to that means social media. And of course it can, but it also doesn't have to. And building a business on social media is very different to building an online business and maybe using social media as part of it, or even choosing not to, right? So there are so many different ways and methods that we can market. And I know it is a very tender point for a lot of introverts because it's not our default, it's not our natural environment where we generally want to be hanging out. So I'm doing a free masterclass on March the 6th. I will pop the link in the bio. It's called the Social Free Startup. And I'm going to be sharing about how if you do want to start a business, or if you have a business now and you want to transition your marketing without using social media, how you can do that. And I'm actually just sharing everything on this. I'm just going to tell you exactly how to do it, how so many of my clients do it, what we prioritize, what we focus on, how we, get our content in front of people, all that kind of thing. So if that sounds interesting, I would love to see you there. Like I say, March 6th, it will be at 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. GMT, and the link and all the details will be in the show notes. So the last thing that we have been doing, we've been getting a bit techie behind the scenes is, and you will have seen this if you're on the email list, we have been segmenting email lists. So I really want to make sure that we're not just sending emails to everyone if they're not relevant. Obviously, a lot of people are at various stages of business. I've got people that are, brand new and yet to start their business. There are people reading who have, consistent clients and, they're at that kind of phase where they're ready to grow. And I've got people in my audience that are established and scaling. So obviously not everything that I do is relevant to every person. So especially because I've got the programs relaunching again, I've got the Ambitious Introvert Academy and the Quiet Power Mastermind later this year. I just think nobody needs too many emails telling them all about things that actually aren't suited to them. So we sent out an email last week for people so they could self-identify where they are in business, what actually makes sense for them to hear about, what products or services that I have are going to be relevant to them. And also we put a little option for send me everything, because I certainly know that sometimes I'm just I just want to have a look at all of it. So yeah, that's kind of what's been going on in the business really. So lots of content creation and podcast batching, masterclass prep, getting things ready behind the scenes for the academy launch. Power hours, new client, email segmenting. Also, my website is being designed. So I had the homepage proof earlier in February, and then lovely Ali is working on the complete design. So I'm waiting to see that probably at some point before the end of February. So by the time you're listening, I may well have seen it. So that's exciting too. So that's the main things that have been going on for me here in the business and in life in general. I have been extremely sociable in that I've actually been to London twice in February. Which I haven't been since last year. I'm saying that it's a big deal. It's an hour and a half on the train. It's really not. But I do really have to manage my energy, especially going to London, big city, busy train, all of that. It can really take a lot out of me. So going twice in a short period of time is something that I have to look at and go, okay, don't commit to too much in between. So I went at the start of the month to celebrate a birthday with someone, and then I went on Saturday and met two friends separately, one for brunch and spending most of the day together. And then I met another friend for drinks and dinner in the evening, and it was really lovely. It was really lovely to be able to catch up with people because as much as I am an introvert, I do love seeing people in person. I just really prefer to socialize one-on-one. Or small groups, maybe 3 or 4 people. I just don't like the whole big group thing. That's what I find really draining. So, but it was lovely to spend, quite a few hours with someone that I really like and just have that kind of deep connection. So that was lovely. I have been also making the most of the weather improving because it is getting lighter here now in the UK, which is amazing. And slightly less cold because we have had a ridiculously cold winter. So the days are not quite so bitter now. It's not quite so uncomfortable when you leave the house. So I have been aiming for my 10,000 steps a day to make sure I keep moving, which generally, as long as the weather is okay, I have been getting in, which is good, which I think actually is probably helping my sleep as well. So I've been enjoying that movement. And Also, if you listen to the last roundup, I said to you, my rituals is one of my words for the year. And one of the things within that I committed to is a 90-minute massage every month. And that actually happened yesterday. And I'm recording this from bed because it absolutely wiped me out, because it's just that deep tissue, that release from it. And I've had such crunchy shoulders because I've been over the laptop far too much. And I got home and I was like, I feel awful. And I had a salt bath. I literally did nothing for the rest of the day. And I'm really feeling it today. My muscles are aching. I feel like I've been lifting weights when in fact I was just lay there doing nothing while someone pummeled me. But so that is going well. So I now need to book my next one in for March to make sure that I keep up with that ritual for my well-being. Something else that I've been doing regularly is I've been doing a workout called The Class, which is, I think, quite big in the US because a lot of American people I speak to seem to be familiar with it, but it's not such a thing here. So The Class is like a mix of cardio, a mix of body weight and resistance, and meditation and yoga. And I really enjoy it. I find it very cathartic, and it has really great music. It's very introvert friendly, I'm going to say. And the instructors are not shouty and too high energy, which I know can really put me off a class. And backgrounds really nice. They've got candles and it's all earthy and natural colors. And the music's really quite chill and a lot of it's instrumental. And it's really good. I really like The Class. I would highly recommend it. I'll pop the link in the show notes. I'm not an affiliate or anything. I just think it's a really nice workout. I've been doing one of them before bed. It's I think it's yin for sleep or yin for rest. It's a 20-minute yin yoga. And I do it and I can barely keep my eyes open at the end of it. I'm straight into bed and asleep. So yeah, really enjoying The Class. As I'm recording this, it's just been new moon in Pisces, and I am a Pisces. Pisces is my sun sign. So I really felt that one. I felt that was quite emotional. It was a super moon as well. So that affected my sleep a little bit, I would say, for a couple of nights. So just done some new moon journaling and intention setting around that. And I think today's the first day that I just feel a bit more stable in my energy from it. Speaking of energy, I have been doing lots of energy work. I joined a mastermind, which is all about energy. So I've committed to 6 months of, deep dive into energy, into learning all about it and learning how to use it for my own good. So it's a hybrid mastermind with group and one-on-one. So I get 2 or 3 one-on-one calls a month. So I've had some quite deep one-on-one energy, coaching calls. And I've been bringing in daily practices like clearing my energy, grounding my energy, opening my energy centers, all of that. And it's been really interesting to see, I've always loved this kind of thing and I've always read a lot about it and I've worked with different practitioners, but to actually start to incorporate it myself. Obviously, I'm an EFT practitioner. That is a type of energy psychology. So I've always had that in my toolkit and used that on myself, but bringing in these other practices again fits really well with the rituals aspect. So I'm excited to see how that affects me and my energy over time, because obviously as introverts, our energy is the biggest thing that we're trying to grow or build or scale a business, whatever stage we're at. Our energy is the thing that's going to be rooted in. So it's so important for us to have that awareness of it and understand how to use it. So I've been really enjoying that. Part of that mastermind is a retreat. So that was booked this month as well. So I'm very excited. I'm off to Greece in May. That was included as part of it, but I've actually extended, because one of the big things that came up for me in the To Be Magnetic challenge when I was crafting my manifestation list for the year is that I wanted to travel and I wanted to spend time with people and friends while I was traveling, but that I didn't want to rush. I wanted the travel to feel slow and I wanted it to be very nervous system friendly. I'm someone that's traveled a lot and, I've really traveled and done crazy things, like gone on very long flights to go somewhere for 22 hours and things like that when I was younger, and I just can't do it now. And I'm much more about wanting to spend time somewhere and settle in and see more of it. So I actually get to spend an extra 5 days, and the retreat's 5 days. So I've got like a nice 10-day trip, half of which I'll be alone. So I am very much looking forward to that in May and for some sunshine. And the last thing that I'll share with you is, if you listened last month or saw anything on my newsletter over the last few months, I'm actually rereading books this year. So I committed not to buy any new books, because if you've been following me for a while, you will know that I devour books. I get through about a book a week, and I have a Kindle library of about 700 books. And I've read, that's probably over the last 10 years or so. And I have changed so much in the last 10 years. And of course, every book that I read, I didn't go and implement every single thing from it. Even when I had really good intentions, even when I'd read a book and I'd go, this is amazing, I'm going to do this practice, or I'm going to try this. And, of course I didn't do it with everything. So I was just very curious to see, if I went back and read those things again, how would I feel about them? Would I still think they were a good idea? Or would I be like, no, that doesn't interest me now? Like, how much have I changed in that time period? And could I go back and reread things and see them in a different light? So maybe things that I kind of thought were fine, am I now going to go, this is amazing, I totally get it? Because I really believe that sometimes the timing is just off for the information. And then when we see it in a different season of life, it resonates in a completely different way. So anyway, all of that is to say, rereading books. So I've just finished or refinished Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss, which I feel like I could do really like a whole newsletter on, or a whole podcast episode. Maybe I will at some point, because it's just such a great book and so much in there. So Tim Ferriss wrote the book when he was a couple of years into his own podcast, which is amazing. And it was his guests that were the most popular and had kind of the most wisdom to share. And he went back through and he pulled out all of the stuff that they shared, like about their morning routines and about films and books that they recommend, and habits that they have that have helped them succeed, and things that they believe that other people think are crazy. And he has these kind of set questions that he asks most of his guests. And this was back, I think the book was 2016, 17. So his podcast has a slightly different format now. But it's just really interesting to see how many of the same themes come up. And these are like high performers in all kinds of different areas. He talks to like tech founders, he talks to Olympic athletes, he talks to chess prodigies, he talks to bodybuilders, he talks to all kinds of people. It was really broad spectrum, but it's just really fascinating to see the things that they've incorporated to help them succeed and the things that they deem are important. So it's been a really nice way to be surrounded by like personal development and kind of be inspired, but without spending time in the online space as such. So highly recommend Tools of Titans. That was my second read of it, as I've said, and I may do some longer form content sharing a bit more about it in the future. We shall see. If you want to hear that, let me know. Okay, that was a whirlwind, but I think that was pretty much my February. That is what has been going on here. That's what's been going on behind the scenes. I look forward to sharing with you in another month's time what March has looked like. But in the meantime, do check out the link in the show notes for the Social Free Startup Masterclass. I'd absolutely love to see you there. And we are now about 6 weeks out from the launch of the Ambitious Introvert Academy. So if you are a newer entrepreneur, if you're looking to start your business, or you're in the first year or so and you don't feel like you've quite got the foundations right, things aren't quite working out as you want them to, then do take a look at the details. At the moment, we've got the waitlist link up, but if you want to reach out, I'm happy to share with you what I've got. We'll have a sales page very, very soon. I'm really, really thrilled to be running, the round 2 of the Academy. It's a wonderful program, and I just have seen the results that the clients in the first round got from it. And I'm really passionate about making sure that we are building our businesses in an introvert-friendly way from day one. So those things are happening. Social Free Startup Masterclass, absolutely free. Would love to see you there. Ambitious Introvert Academy will be coming at the end of March. Keep a lookout. Pop yourself on the wait list. All the details will be coming soon. Hopefully you listened to last week's episode with lovely Kate Carter as well, who is my co-coach now in the Academy. So you've got a little bit more of an idea of what that's going to look like. But for now, I shall bid you farewell. Thank you for listening. Have a great end to your February and start to March, and I'll catch up with you again next month. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Ambitious Introvert Podcast with me, Emma-Louise Parks. If you enjoy this show, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review on iTunes. As a thank you, one lucky reviewer each month will win a 60-minute one-on-one coaching session with me, where you'll get the clarity and confidence to attract your ideal clients. And if you know someone who could benefit from listening to the show, then please do share and help me reach as many fellow ambitious introverts as possible.